Two games, one table, only one will come out on top. Welcome to the Battle of the Boss Battlers. Today I have for you a versus video where we have two boss battlers going up against each other. Which one will you choose? Which one will come out victorious? Which one will come out on the top? Let's get to it. So here we are in round one of the Battle of the Boss Battlers. And here we have theme and vibe. And which one will come out on the top when it comes to theme and vibe? Let's go ahead and let's start with townsfolk tussle. In townsfolk tussle, the theme it's quite obvious. It's Looney Toony. It's hose arm, Cuphead type theme. And the vibe here is it's fast, it's fun, it's colorful, right? And chaos goes along into townsfolk tussle when it comes to theme and the vibe of the game. And then we go on to the other corner and we have Grimcoven. It's dark, right? It's very, very dark. Let me get over here on the camera. It's dark, it's gloomy, right? It's very suspenseful and terrifying when you come to this theme of the Grimcoven game, and it is way, way different than townsfolk tussle. So when it comes to theme and vibe, tell me in the comments, what is your favorite theme out of the two here? Is it dark and gloomy and suspenseful and terror, or is it colorful, fun, Looney Toony, hose arm, Cuphead type style? And that is the theme and vibe, and that will do it for round number one. Now let's go to round two, where we'll talk about components. Welcome to round two, where we talk about the components and the miniatures. Now we come over here, we're going to start with townsfolk tussle. The components in townsfolk tussle are very colorful, they're very simple. You have the standees and the minis in this game, where the minis are not great quality when it comes to the minis, because they don't have a lot of detail to them. They don't pop as much as Awakened Realms Grimcoven miniatures do. Now when we talk about the standees, however, are very colorful. They pop, they show, and I prefer the standees over the minis in townsfolk tussle, just because they make the board come alive. They make the game come alive a whole lot more than what it would be with the miniatures on the table, and it's just fantastic art on the standees. Now we go over here to Grimcoven and we talk about the miniatures, and we all know Awakened Realms has fantastic quality when it comes to their miniatures. It's very detailed, very, very well thought out, very well printed, and the miniatures make Awakened Realms Grimcoven pop. It makes it shine. But that is that for the miniatures. Now when it comes to the rest of the components, the card quality in both these games, Grimcoven has great card quality. They're not flimsy. They're not, they don't mess up as easy. It's got that kind of like that thick card stock, I guess you could, where it's kind of glossy and it's got a little bit of glare to it. On the other hand, townsfolk tussles cards, they're a little bit more flimsy. They're a little bit more, they can a little bit more easier to rip and stuff like that. But they're still high quality cards, right? Don't get me wrong there. And then when it comes to tokens and things in both games. The tokens in Grimcoven all go along with the board, and they all match so well with the board, from the cardboard chits to the all the way to the the little spots for the different ruffians that you put their cardboard chits on, that bring alive the game even more. And then over here in Grimcoven, even in the base game where you get their cardboard tokens are still great, but then when you add in their terrain pack and stuff like that, where the acrylic tiles, the acrylic tokens, they really shine, they really pop out. Although the acrylics in game Grimcoven have really lessened a little bit. You can't really see the numbers. You can't really see the things inside of the acrylic. So I'm going to have to say that Townsfolk Tussle has it when it comes to the tokens and things that way. But when it comes to the overall components and minis, this is a hard one. I'm going to have to give this one over to Grimcoven, where Grimcoven shines in miniatures, Grimcoven shines in card quality, and they may lack in components, but everything, or they may lack in tokens rather, but everything else when it comes in cardboard, that it shines great in Grimcoven. Now, let's go to round 3, where we talk about gameplay and mechanics. Welcome to round 3, where we're talking about the gameplay and the mechanics of both these games, and which one does it better than the other, or are they both just as good when it comes to gameplay? We're going to start over in this corner with Grimcoven. It's very tactical. It's very strategic, right? You have it's a slower burn where you have to try to grow your character to make them stronger in order to defeat the boss in this game. And man, the gameplay and the mechanics are absolutely amazing, along with the dice, and where you are rolling the dice to try to place onto your character map there to do certain actions. That's a very interesting mechanic in itself. It's very rewarding whenever you do something and something pops off for you as your character, and you're getting ready to fight the boss, and you finally have done something for the table to where it turns the tide of the game. Then we come over here to Townsfolk Tussle. Now, what is Townsfolk Tussle? It's very fast, right? It's very fast-paced gameplay. It's very unpredictable. It's very chaotic, but it's so great for those casual players and for those bigger groups up to 5 that you may have, where you just want something chaotic, you want something fun, where you're going after the ruffian and you're doing some crazy random rolls with the dice to try to defeat the ruffian, rather than strategically placing things. You have these cards that you're drawing that may impact the game as you're playing in the game there, and as you're going throughout these ruffians and trying to beat them. Also, you got gold cards that you're trying to complete. Where in Grimcoven you have upgrade evolution cards, where you're trying to get your character stronger. When instead in Townsfolk Tussle, you go to the town shop and you're buying cards to upgrade your character, and it may make them stronger. It may make them just a little bit more goofy. It's just how the game works. So when we're talking about gameplay and mechanics, man, this is a hard one to give to, right? Because this one is honestly opinion based, right? Man, round 3, this is a tough fight for these two boss battlers. You have Grimcoven that has very strategic and tactical gameplay. Then you have Townsfolk Tussle that has very chaotic and unpredictable gameplay. I'm going to leave this one up to you guys. Put down in the comments what you think is the best gameplay experience out of these two. Now, let's go to round 4, where we talk about the replayability and what group they're good for. Welcome to round 4, where we talk about replayability and the size group, the group that you want to play this in. So we're going to start off this time with Townsfolk Tussle. Now, Townsfolk Tussle is easy to play with different, and it's different almost every time, right? It's easy to play. It's different every time. You're not playing the same ruffians every time, or at least you're not having the same ruffians come out every time, right? You may be fighting them for the final fight. You may be fighting them as you climb up that ladder to reach the final boss in Townsfolk Tussle, and it can easily be played repeatedly with different friends, with different friend groups. It's got big swings, right? You're going to laugh and you're going to have all that stuff there. And then you come to Grimcoven, right? I mean, the stories that you have in your gaming groups with Grimcoven, they really evolve with the group that you're with over multiple sessions that you play. For instance, if you're playing against the Graveyard Dragon and you have a group that's playing with the Graveyard Dragon and you're in scenario 2, scenario 3, whatever it may be, and you guys have created and cultivated a story in that game. And then you think about maybe you have another group and you're playing against the Undead General, and that story is cultivating with the Undead General and that play group, and it's just such a great experience along with that. But not only that, but that depth in Grimcoven, it just keeps you coming back. But you have to focus. You have to focus, right? So Townsfolk Tussle is very perfect. It's very good if you want that lighthearted, that fun, light party type style game. But Grimcoven is really, really good for those long sessions that make you think, that make you grind out the game. But it is really, really good. And both these games really have they shine at certain things, right? So Townsfolk Tussle shines with maybe four players, 3 players, 5 players. It shines in that group. When Grimcoven, you can play it solo, and it can shine at solo. It can shine at 2 players, 3 players, 4 players. But the higher the player count, maybe the more decisions that are made, and the harder it gets. And man, this is a hard one for me to choose. But you know what? I'm going to let you guys choose this one. What do you guys think when it comes to replayability and when it comes to group? Would you choose Townsfolk Tussle or would you choose Grimcoven? Now, we go off to the final round of Townsfolk Tussle versus Grimcoven, and that is the quickfire pros and cons of the two before we make our final decision on which game I think wins the battle of the boss battlers. So here we go with round 5 of the pros and cons of both games. Now let's go ahead and start off with Townsfolk Tussle here. It's fast, right? It's a fast game. You can shorten the game a little bit. You know, it takes maybe an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours to play compared to Grimcoven, which is 3 or 4 hours, right? So it's fast, it's fun, it's chaotic, but maybe a con for Townsfolk Tussle is it's got less depth. It sometimes swings unfairly in your direction, and you get frustrated about what happens during the game with Townsfolk Tussle. Then we go over here to Grimcoven, and Grimcoven is very immersive. Some of the pros are it's immersive. It's very tactical. You have stunning minis that just bring the game alive onto the table. But again, for the cons, you have slower setups, right? It requires lots of focus as you're trying to fight the boss in this game. So Townsfolk Tussle would hit the table first, but Grimcoven, man, it hits the heart when you play it, right? So that is the rounds 1 through 5, and that is the battle of the boss battlers. Now it's time to choose the winner for me of the battle of the boss battlers. So the winner for the battle of the boss battlers for me is going to be Townsfolk Tussle. Now, I love Townsfolk Tussle. It's just a great boss battler. I think it does well in that system. It's great. If it was any other game, I don't know if I would like it, but it does well in the boss battle system. I love the art. I love the art. I love the gameplay. I love how it swings from left and right. I love the stories even that are told as you play for these. And I love the fact of the town cards and the upgrade cards that you can buy at the town phase. And I love how each monster is different. Each monster has different mechanics. I mean, so does Grimcoven, but I mean the cards in this one, I mean each one does a thing, and you can tell as you're playing the game what that ruffian does, and boy, it brings alive. It's as if you're literally sitting down and you're watching a show townsfolk tussle or watching a show of Looney Tunes, and you know what that character is going to do, and how I think of the milk frog, right? How he tosses, one of his mechanics is he tosses up the milk, and you can see that on board here in front of you, and that makes for a great experience. Also, I love how this makes my gaming group feel, right? We have laughs. It's so fun. It's chaotic. It makes you laugh. It brings you back every time, and it's shorter. Right? I love that it's shorter here. But that is the winner of the Battle of the Boss Battlers. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming to the Battle of the Boss Battlers. And guys, I hope you enjoy. If you like what you see, you know, you can do whatever you want to do. You can do whatever you want to do on YouTube, right? You can like, you can subscribe, you can hit the bell notification, whatever you guys want to do. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.